viewer comments, just a few. First one comes from Cryptozoic.
I wonder what this is about.
We talked about the Attack on Titan deck building game, which they previewed, and they just had a couple of clarifications for us on things that we weren't 100% sure on. It is 100% cooperative. You win or lose together, but of course the backs are the same. So they said, given your own creativity, as we said, you could find ways to mix them with the other
that's it's not so far off, but I do like the fact it's 100% cooperative because I believe Lord of the Rings one, or at least the one I played so far, is not.
Right.
There's still points at the end.
Right.
So I think that makes things interesting.
More thematic. And they said that the walls are 5 cardboard punch-outs with hit point punch-outs based on the Maria, Rose, and Cena crests. I don't remember how to say those names. But anyway, those are like the components. But yeah, let's go watch our preview if you missed that. We talked about a lot more about that game.
They didn't happen to mention anything about their other Attack on Titan game, did they?
They did not.
Yeah, but I'm still looking forward for this. I think it will make a good addition to the Cerberus Engine lineup, and I definitely want to see your opinion on it. And because it's all cooperative, I'm definitely curious of mixing in Crisis cards, because a lot of the Crisis cards are designed to be a bit more helpful. So if you were going to mix things up, those seem to be the perfect cards to throw in there.
We'll do our experimentation, and we'll...
Oh, you know I will.
We'll let you know.
About the horrid beasts I make. Like, I just now in my head I just imagine this weird, like, half Titan Superman just kill me.
I imagine that every day. Ken Shockley lets us know what MASH does actually stand for. Mm-hmm. Mobile Army Surgical Hospital. And says sometimes it pays off being so old. Good for you, Ken Shockley. Thank you for making that known to us. If you don't know, there was an RPG called MASH we talked about last week. If you're wondering why the hell we're talking about MASH right now.
Maybe that'll get picked up.
And finally, once again, we hear from our good friend Rico Cordova, who asks us, do you have any recommendations for Halloween-themed games for the upcoming holiday? Not necessarily Halloween-specific, but horror or spooky. The only game I have with this theme is Eldritch Horror. Well, you're in luck.
Pretty much every playback we do in October is, I would say, the Halloweenist.
Yes, absolutely. That would be your first place to look. We also, Neil just put up an article on the site, a list of Halloween-themed games that you can check out, which is a great resource. And it's
and if you really want to cause some horror and terror, we would suggest Nightmare, because you will be terrified of that game after playing it. Yeah. But if I'm going to say for each of us to choose maybe like 2 games.
Okay.
Let's say a small Halloween gathering.
Okay.
So, what would be...
We each get 2?
Yeah, we each get 2.
Well, it's the most obvious one. It's behind us, but I feel like you have to say it is Betrayal at House on the Hill.
And because it's getting the expansion out.
True.
Yeah. Actually, that should be your first thing. It's not even just for Halloween. That's a great game.
Yeah, we did a playback for that as well, but when I think of Halloween, that game is the first thing that comes to my mind. I think it does perfect for that. Especially because it's lighter. You can play with anybody.
It's lighter. It has multiple horror themes on it, so it's not just Cthulhu, not just...
Right.
It has a traitor mechanic, but it's one that's not the traitors right away, so you don't know.
But I feel like let's try and come up with ones maybe that are a little less obvious. I don't know, they're more Escape from Aliens in Outer Space. That's like a spooky
That's a good one.
Alien game, hidden role thing. Letters from Whitechapel.
More of a realistic murder kind of.
Yeah, murder themed. Those are good. And got any other? You can stretch it to...
Honestly, I think we just talked about Cthulhu's Vault is actually a good one because you are making a horror story.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
And actually, you know what? That's what Cthulhu's Vault people should do. They should, this is the Cthulhu version. They should make, a story version for, maybe just generic horror and stuff. And, you can mix and actually make these crazy, awesome stories.
You can do a lot with that.
Because that building mechanic is a really fun mechanic for the stories.
Of course, we're going to have get more Halloween-themed games for playbacks this month, and Ancient Terrible Things was our first one. That's one you could look for.
If you got a bigger party group, the Dracula Kickstarter we talked about would be a good one.
That's right. Yeah, keep an eye out for that. Any werewolf game, pretty much.
Overall, it depends on your group of people. There's like we said with Sherlock Holmes earlier, there's Cthulhu games everywhere to fit whatever group. Like you said, Eldritch Horror for more of a deeper, longer game. Something lighter, maybe something like Unspeakable Words if you want more of a fun word game. So that's an easy one. And of course, there's other games. I mean, Fury Dracula, though, that one might be a little bit harder to find now. Might be a cool one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And, there's plenty of other classic games. But definitely, I think we said some really good ones early off. Betrayal should be, I think, the top of your list overall. Because I think that fits almost all the things I would look for in a good Halloween game. Agreed.
Let us know what your favorite games to play on Halloween are. I'm sure that you have them. You can leave a comment right below on YouTube. I actually have a question I want to hear from people.
That's great. What do you want?
I wanted your approval. Based on...
no, never mind. I don't want it. Because I have one. No,
based on Ken Shockley's remark about how old he is, I'm curious how old you are, at what age you started playing board games, and how old other people in your gaming group are.